Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. We're back with the latest time trial guide to try and help you earn them 2 million credits as quickly and as easily as possible. Now, if you do enjoy these videos, if they do help you out, it's a huge help if you take a few seconds, hit that like button, it all helps with the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel. We do these every single week, so every single new time trial guide, I guide you through it and try and help you get them 2 million credits as quickly as possible. So let's get them 62,000 subscribers as quick as possible. And yeah, let's help you get this lap done as quickly as possible. And hopefully you'll get them 2 million credits without too much effort. So this is a rather long lap at Nurburgring GP for a road car. So the gold is going to be quite a big gap from the fastest time that you're going to actually see on the leaderboard. Now, it will improve obviously as you go through it, but if you do want to enter this time trial, simply click into sport mode in the top right hand corner there. From there, you'll be greeted with the online time trial section in the top right. Click on that and you'll be greeted with 2 separate time trials. We already have a guide for the trial mounting guide, so if you're looking for a guide for trial mounting, check that out on the channel and hopefully that'll get you the gold for that one. But yeah, for this one, the current gold is a 24.619. I predict it's going to go to 2 minutes 24 flat at least. There will be obviously improvements done throughout the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I think some people have obviously pushed this quite aggressively already though. I haven't pushed this too aggressively. We just got ourselves into the top 10. We got to P7. So the ghost is there available for you to chase. So if you want to load my ghost in, you simply go into the time trial, click on my name, and you can chase my ghost for a bit more of an idea of what the lap was like to follow. So let's go into this guide, let's help you get this gold, and let's try and get your times as quick as possible. So going into turn 1, we're going to be looking out for the shade of color change on the tarmac on the left. So we're going to go past the 150 board, and then we're going to go braking before the 100. So you can see this little shade of color change on the tarmac there. I use that as my reference when to get on the brakes. So as soon as I can see that, onto the brakes, pretty much dead at the start of that. Now we're going to brake in a straight line, keeping the car over to the left hand side as much as possible until we can start seeing that apex. And at this point here, you're going to start turning it in and trail braking off the brake there to try and get the rotation. So staying in second gear, late downshift into second gear also will help with the rotation. So stay in third for as long as you can, then down to second, and then onto that power as aggressively as you can to try and get that momentum out of this corner and swing it back over to the right hand side. As soon as you've got the full width of the track there, you can see you're going to start swinging this back into this left down corner, and you're going to go up to third gear there, and then just a tiny little dab of brakes I put in here just to get the rotation onto obviously the weight onto the front of the tire to rotate that car through this corner. And then you can see you can go quite aggressively back on that throttle. Just be careful how early you put the full throttle down, because you can understeer wide, and the track limits are quite strict for this one, so be very careful. So going into the next braking zone, again, the end of the green Astra is what I normally use here, but you have to brake a lot earlier than that, because obviously you've got the situation that this car's not got as good brakes as normal cars you drive here. Now try and keep this car in as narrow as you can, but be careful you don't take the normal line you do through here, because I just about avoid a track limit penalty there. You've got to be very careful with the right tyre on the white line. Now we're going to rotate it into this right hand corner. So again, up into third gear, and you can take quite a lot off this. You can actually go over the white line with your left hand tyre and get away with it, but be careful on the exit there. That corner there is very easy to pick up a track invalidated penalty there. So into the next braking zone, we're going to use the sprint layout, the end of the sprint layout there as our braking reference. And now we're going to start rotating it in. So from here, you can see we're in fourth gear. We're going to go down to third gear to try and rotate it in, because you want to get this left-hand tyre as close to the curb on the left there. And you're almost going to slide it in slightly just to keep that rotation. And then get onto the throttle as early as you can. This will get the car back over to the left-hand side of the track. And as soon as you're pretty much in the middle of the track rotating, before the curb on the right at the start of it, you're going to get onto the brakes and now try and rotate it in. Now, I made a mistake here. We lost a good 2 temps at least because I missed the apex, and it started to bog down with the throttle. You can see how I had to correct it slightly there. And yeah, we lose a good 2 temps there just on the exit. So try and keep the car from not bogging down, because as soon as you do that, you lose massive momentum out of the corners. It's all about keeping the momentum out of the corners with this car. Now for the next braking zone, braking just at the start or just slightly past the start of the curb, the cobbled curb on the left hand side. You can see there onto the brakes, and now we're going to brake in a straight line and try and keep the car quite narrow to the apex here. I don't like to run too deep into this corner. I like to try and keep it quite tight to the curb. So down to second gear for a bit of rotation as we come into the corner. You're going to see there down to second. Keep it in third gear as well, again for that corner as long as you can. Keeps the car more stable. Then slowly feed the power in here just until you can feel that grip building up to third gear before we get onto the curb. And now this next section is completely flat out, so you do not need to lift here. It's just about going into fourth gear nice and early. What I find, as soon as you're coming off the curb to turn this car in, so as you turn off, go into fourth gear as you get onto the track, and then just keep it as smooth as possible. Now use a bit of the Astro on the right hand side here to keep the car in a straighter line, just to keep more momentum through the corner. And then you're going to get the car back over to the right hand side for this next left hand corner. Now you're going to brake early, but before the 100 board here. You can see the 100 board there, and just at the start of the tarmac on the right hand side, getting on the brakes. And now again, use the Astro for extra width into this corner to widen the line in. You can see how we're doing that there. And again, down to third gear, left hand tire is going to get up onto the Astro, a bit of rotation going into the car as you slide it in, and then get on that power as early as you can to try and swing it back over to the left hand side. And then as soon as you're close to that white line, swung it back over to the white line, you're onto the brakes, and now you're going to start rotating into this right hand corner. And again, didn't get this quite right, but we got away with it slightly. I just lose another 10th or 2 here as I get on the power and just get a bit too much slide on the exit there, which is going to lose me a bit of momentum. And I see there as I go through that sector, I'm 3-4 attempts down on when I did my 21.5, so was a bit down at this stage. However, the good thing about this track is the chicane is pretty much, you can get away with some stuff on the chicane. Again, even though the track limits are strict, you can still cut the first part. So again here, we brake just before the 100 board on the right hand side, and just as we're coming in here down to second gear. Now this is a part which you need to take advantage of to get the lap time out of it. You can really take a lot off this first curb. I haven't really optimized this at all, but you can see just how aggressive you can be there on the entry in. You can get your left hand tire all the way over the grass, and that's going to help straight line it. Now just be very careful there, because you cannot hit that bollard. If you hit that bollard, your lap is invalidated, so just be very cautious of that bollard. Up into third gear as we come out the exit, and now just keep the car on the track all the way into the final corner. Now again, get your left hand tyre all the way over to the left as far as possible to widen the line into this entry, and you can see onto that brakes. I do this by a visual reference, just making sure that I'm braking early enough so that I can slow the car down and get it rotated. So you can see down to second gear for a bit of extra rotation. Possibly would have been better just keeping it in third gear. I'm not too sure about that corner yet, but then on the exit, on the power nice and early in third gear as you go up through into third gear, and then all the way to the finish line. Don't change gear before the finishing line, stay in third gear, and we go over a 21.4. so we actually gained over half a second pretty much on that last sector, basically because of the chicane. But I did mess up the chicane on with the lap that I did a 21.5 on. So yeah, there's easily a 20.8 or 9 in it, and then probably if we pushed it more we could go a bit quicker. But I probably won't be going back on this time trial anyway, because obviously once I've got my gold, I tend to leave these. So yeah, let's have a little watch from the chase camera with kilometers an hour on now, so you can see the difference in speed through the corners using kilometers an hour. And again, you can see about this corner here, you can get away with the track limits on this, going quite wide there. But this is the corner you have to be very careful. So your right hand tyre has to be careful you don't go over the white line. You can see how there, we just keep it on the white line. But this corner, you can actually take quite a big chunk off of that, more than I thought. But again, on the exit there, you have to be very careful. You see how I'm not running wide, because I know that that will invalidate the lap. Now, this is where we lost a little bit of time here as I rotated in. Okay, this was all good here at this point. Got the rotation in, got on the throttle nice. However, as I braked and turned, I missed the apex there, and the car starts to slide. And all that sliding is, it just loses your momentum all the way down into the next braking zone. So a couple of attempts lost there on the exit. So try and keep your car nice and stable for that exit, because it's very important to get that momentum out of that corner. Again, this corner was done quite nice. We got that second gear downshift, kept it quite narrow in, got good traction up into third gear, pretty much decent corner, that hairpin. And then through here, completely flat out. You see how I go into fourth gear as we get back on the track, and just try and skim the curbs. Don't try and attack that first curb too much, because it can unsettle the car. But yeah, just try and keep it nice and smooth all the way through that flat out chicane. Into this left hand corner, using the full width again, you can see left hand tyre up onto the curb. Use the power to rotate it back over to the left hand side of the track, and then try and get this car to rotate, but get on the power nice. You can see I get a bit of a drift through the corner, and again, this car doesn't really have the power to get away with that, so you just lose a little bit of momentum then all the way into the next braking zone. So try and You want the car to slide in a little bit, but you don't want it to be drifting through corners really. Now into the next braking zone, you can really attack this. You saw our P1 was really attacking this. His car was really sideways going into that. If you get it right, yes, you can gain a lot of time, but it's very risky. And if you're just going for the gold time, play it safe, and you should be able to get that gold just by following this guide. Hopefully this will help you out. Let me know in the comment section if it's helped you out. Let me know if what time you've managed to get, whether you've got silver, bronze, or gold. I do like reading them comments, and I'll be back with another one of these next week with the latest 2 million guide. So yeah, I'll hopefully see you then for another video. Thanks again for watching, everyone.